I am making an Egyptian God deck profile just because it's been a while and I managed to get a couple of rarity upgrades and other cards. So I figured why not go ahead and make a new deck profile for the Egyptian God deck. Overall, the deck is really fun. The only issue with building its extra deck was making sure everything was a light warrior. Just because there are cards that you will use often in this deck that lock you into only special summoning light warriors. I just don't remember it's from I believe it's just from the extra deck though, so anyway, starting with monsters, I play 2 copies of Queen's Knight. Queen's Knight's in this deck just because you need it for your one of your cards that let you get 3 monsters out for no apparent reason. Then I also play 2 copies of Jack's Knight, again, just because you need to play them. And then I play 2 copies of King's Knight. King's Knight, it has the effect of when normal summoned while Queen's Knight's in play, you special summon Jack's Knight from your hand or deck. Then I play 3 copies of Joker's Knight. Joker's Knight lets you send King's Knight, Queen's Knight, or Jack's Knight from your, I believe it's hand or deck to grave. Let's see. No, you send it from your deck to the graveyard, special summon this, and its name becomes Ascent Monsters. So, one thing you can do is you can send Queen's Knight from deck to grave, special summon this, normal summon King's Knight, and then special summon Jack's Knight. And then, Joker's Knight also has the effect during the end phase of this card's in the graveyard. You can shuffle or target or you shuffle back a light warrior other than this card to then add it back to your hand. And then for the God card part of this deck, I play 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. This lets you tribute 3 monsters from either field to normal summon it. And then you can tribute it special on the Winged Dragon of Ra, ignoring summoning conditions from your deck. And then if you do, its attack and defense become 4,000. And then during the end phase, the controller's end phase, control this card will switch. So if you give it to your opponent during their end phase, it'll come back to you. Okay, and it also gets summoned to the field that all 3 monsters were on when it was tribute summoned. So if you tribute 3 of your opponents, it goes to their field. Tribute 3 of your own, goes to your field. Then I play 3 copies of Slifer the Sky Dragon. Slifer has the effect of its normal summoning cannot be negated. And I believe cards and effects cannot be activated in response to its summoning. But Slifer requires you to tribute 3 monsters or tribute summon it. And then if your opponent summons a monster in attack position, it loses 2,000 attack points. And then if its attack is reduced to 0, destroy it. Which, fun fact, if your opponent normal summons a monster with 0 attack points, it will not be destroyed by Slifer because its attack was not reduced to 0. It started at 0. And then Slifer has another effect of its attack is 1,000 times the number of cards in your hand. So if you have 5, its attack is 5,000. If you only have 2, its attack is 2,000. As well as during the end phase of the turn it's special summoned, send it to the graveyard. I do not like that Konami changed Slifer and Obelisk's effects for the end phase, just because of how I used to be able to special summon them and keep them in play thanks to Mound of the Dung Creator, but now that they send, there's no way to stop them. Unless you activate something like Dimensional Fissure, which would prevent them from being able to go to the graveyard. But I don't know if that actually works, and I'm not willing to test it. Then I play 2 copies of Obelisk the Tormentor. Obelisk also has the same effects as Slifer, except for the attack change and the attack reduction. Instead, Obelisk has the effect of you contribute 2 other monsters to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. However, Obelisk cannot attack the turn that you use this effect. And then I play 1 copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra. Winged Dragon of Ra, again, has the same effects as Obelisk and Slifer, except it does not have the end phase effect because the Winged Dragon of Ra has the effect of it cannot be special summoned. Which is why Sphere Mode says ignoring summoning conditions. But Winged Dragon of Ra also has the effect of when it's normal summon, you can pay all about 100 of your life points to have Ra's attack become that or gain that much when it's normal summoned, which you do not normal summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. You will only summon it off of Sphere Mode. Ra's other effect is once per turn you can pay 1,000 life points, or once per turn. You can pay 1,000 life points, target one monster your opponent controls, I believe it is, to then destroy it. And you can use that effect as many times as you want in a turn, you just have to pay 1,000 life points. So as long as you have 1,000 life points to pay, you can keep doing it. And that is it for the monsters. For these spells, I play one copy of Double or Nothing, just because you get locked into Light Warriors from the extra deck, so Utopia is a Light Warrior, so figure why not play the Utopia OTK. Then I also play one copy of Divine Evolution. This can only be used on the Wicked Beasts, or the Wicked God cards, or the Egyptian God cards. But it gives the selected monster 1,000 attack points, as well as giving it the effect of when this card declares an attack, you can make your opponent send one monster they control to the graveyard of their choice. I like that effect just because it can get rid of monsters that are unaffected by card effects like Ultimate Falcon and Full Armor Master, just because your opponent is sending a monster. So it's affecting the player and not the monster, so they technically can send it. Then I also play one copy of Fist of Fate. Fist of Fate can only be activated while Obelisk is in play, but it lets you you choose one monster your opponent controls because it does not target, because it can technically get rid of Dragoon. You negate its effects and then destroy that monster. And then if this was activated during your main phase, you can then Harpies Feather Duster your opponents. Then I play one copy of Blaze Cannon. Blaze Cannon can only be activated while you control the Winged Dragon of Ra, and for some reason it's always treated as a Blaze Accelerator card. Which kind of makes me think Konami is trying to go, hey, why not combine the Ra cards with Volcanic? Which part of me kind of wants to do, just because of the Blaze Accelerator thing. Anyway, Blaze Cannon has the effect of when you control Winged Dragon of Ra, it gains the following effects. Where it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If an attack is declared, you contribute any number of other monsters you control that did not attack to have Ra gain their attack points. And then, after damage calculation, if Ra attacked, you can send all monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard. Then I play two copies of Thunder Force Attack. Thunder Force can only be activated while you control Slifer, and the only reason I'm playing two is because of how Slifer is the main Egyptian god you will be summoning. But it has the effect of you just destroy all your opponents, I believe, face-up attack position. You just destroy as many of your opponent's face-up monsters as possible, and then if this was activated during your main phase, then you can draw one card for every monster that's destroyed by its effect. And you can activate one Thunder Force attack per turn. Then I play three copies of Thunderspeed Summon. Thunderspeed Summon has the effect during the main phase or battle phase, immediately as the effect resolves. Normal summon a level 10 monster, or if you control Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight, you can add a level 10 non-dark monster with a question mark for attack from your deck to your hand, and then immediately you can then apply the rest of its effect. And then you can activate one Thunderspeed Summon per turn. Then I play three copies of Joker Straight. Joker Straight has the effect you can discard a card, special summon one Queen's Knight from your deck, then you get to add a King's Knight or Jack's Knight, and then immediately after the effect resolves, you can normal summon a monster. So, normally what you do is you special summon Queen's Knight, add the King's Knight, then normal summon the King's Knight, and then King's Knight's wallet, you special summon Jack's Knight. which gives you 3 monsters without using your original normal summon. Then I play 3 copies of Soul Crossing. Oh yeah, I forgot. Joker's Straight also has the same grave effect as Joker's Knight, where you can shuffle back a Light Warrior from your grave to add it back to your hand during the end phase. So if you have multiples of this in grave, you can do it every end phase. And then Soul Crossing, just during the main phase, immediately after the effect resolves, normal summon a Divine Beast monster by using 3 monsters on the field. But if you tribute a monster your opponent controls, where's the downside? Then you apply the effect until the end of the next turn. After this card resolves, you can only activate 1 card or effect per turn, not counting the effects of Divine Beast monsters. So, usually you're just using this during your opponent's turn just so you can get rid of 3 of their monsters, I honestly don't really know how I feel about this, but for now, I like it, so I figured why not. Then for the traps, I play 3 copies of Joker's Wild. Joker's Wild lets you send a spell from your deck to your grave that mentions King's Knight, Queen's Knight, and Jack's Knight, to then copy its effect. So you can send after this card's effect, send Joker's Straight, discard Joker's Knight, for example, summon Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight, and then you contribute them for Egyptian God card, and then during the end phase, Joker's Wild, Joker's Straight, and Joker's Knight will return to your hand by shuffling back the King's Knight, Queen's Knight, and Jack's Knight. And you can only activate 1 Joker's Wild per turn. That's the other thing I forgot to mention, is you can also only activate 1 Joker's Straight and Joker's Knight effect per turn. Then to finish off the traps, I play 3 copies of the Revived Sky God. This card has the effect of the activation of this card and its effects cannot be negated. And then cards cannot, or its activation can't be negated, its effects can't be negated, but unless you special summon a Cypher the Sky Dragon from your graveyard, then each player draws till they have 6 cards in hand. And then it also has the effect you can banish a card from your graveyard to place a Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard on top of your deck. Then if a Divine Beast monster is in your graveyard, you can draw 1 card. And you can only use this effect of the Revived Sky God once per turn. But that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, which, like I had stated before, since you do get locked into Light Warriors, usually by Joker's Straight, most of the extra deck I made sure is Light Warriors, so that restriction wouldn't really matter. Which, with an exception to 1 monster, you won't usually be summoning from your extra deck with this deck. At least that's what I found. But for the monsters, I play 1 copy of Utopia Rising. I've never played this card, so it's just in here because it's a Utopia, more or less. And then I play 1 copy of Utopia Double. Utopia Double has the effect of once per turn you can detach a material, add a double or nothing from your deck to your hand, and then use this card to summon number 39 Utopia. But if you do summon off this effect, its attack points are doubled. Which what you do then is you have Utopia attack, you negate its own attack, and then double or nothing to have its attack become 10,000. Then I play 3 copies of Heroic Champion Excalibur. Excalibur can just detach 2 materials so that until the end of the turn its attack becomes double its original. Or until the end of the next turn, should say. Okay, nope, I'm still wrong. Its attack becomes double its original until your opponent's next end phase. Then I play 3 copies of number 39 Utopia. Utopia can just detach material to negate an attack, but if it's attacked while it has no materials, it's destroyed. Then I play 2 copies of Chaos number 39 Utopia Ray. Utopia Ray is only in here for a stepping stone for Utopia Lightning. Same thing as Utopia Root Prime. Or same thing as Shining number 39 Utopia Prime. It's in here because it's another stepping stone for the one of the 3 copies of Utopia the Lightning. Utopia the Lightning has the effect of you can also exceed summon it by using a rank 4 Utopia monster. So you summon Utopia, there's 2 materials, put Utopia Ray on top, and then you put this on top of Utopia Ray, now you have 4 material Utopia the Lightning. But Utopia the Lightning has the effect of it cannot be used as material for an Exceed summon. If it battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. And then during damage calculation, if this card battles a monster, you can detach 2 materials to double its attack. Or double its attack for the damage calculation. Only so it's just a 5,000 body that can smack over things and your opponent can't really respond to it. And then to finish off the extra deck, I also play the 1 copy of Constellar Pleiades. Pleiades has a once per turn quick effect. You can detach material, target 1 monster your opponent controls, and return it to the hand. But that is it for my Egyptian God deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas what I can do... No, I already said that. Any ideas how to improve the deck, any ideas the decks like to be made in the future, or decks like to face each other, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching.